Hi, hello, my name's Devaraj and welcome to Beginner's Guide to Bioenergetics. I know a lot of you out there have been requesting this, just some more basic information about bio, some basic positions. Maybe you just heard about bioenergetics first time on the internet, YouTube, from another teacher or whatever, and you want to know some basic stuff. So I'm going to try and produce one video every week or fortnight with some beginner's stuff, just giving you basic postures and what you need to know to get it right and to get a good change happening in your life. Today we're going to look at the bow and the arch, and it's great because it also very much includes the three key elements of bioenergetics. The first of which is you get in a weird posture and you have to stay in it on the edge of your comfort zone. This is very important, particularly with this posture, because it's quite stressful. All bioenergetic poses are invariably a bit stressful because what you're doing is giving your body a degree of controlled stress to try and open up the muscle system and let all the old emotional garbage out, stuff that you've been repressing. I don't mean emotions are garbage, I mean stuff that you've been holding down and that's now blocking your energy from really flowing. So the positions are inevitably a bit stressful, and you have to be quite intelligent and sussed about this. If you have a tendency to push yourself too hard, maybe your dad was a bit of a sergeant major or something like that, you need to slacken off with that. And if you have a tendency to just take it really soft and easy, just check that you're really on the edge of your comfort zone. That's the key. That's the main thing. And then the second thing is to really breathe in the pose. This I cannot emphasize enough. A lot of people do bioenergetics and then they come to one of my workshops and they're like hardly breathing. You got to really physically breathe, engage with your body, like an animal. Basically, you breathe through your mouth deep in this pose, especially. You really get in there and you feel. And the third element is to really keep your awareness on your body. When we're under stress, we all have certain escape strategies. Under emotional stress, feelings we don't want to have, then we have escape strategies. Maybe we go off and think about something, or we think of a good reason why we should stop doing the pros, or we just slacken off all the time. No, you want to try and feel your body. Okay, so let's get to the bow and the arch. This is the most basic exercise of bioenergetics. And what's a little bit confusing if you've been watching other teachers, or you go to other courses somewhere out in the world, sometimes different teachers in different parts of the world use different terms for the bow and the arch. They use them sometimes the other way around. They call what I call the arch the bow, and the bow the arch, which is confusing. Or they have different terms altogether. But the way I learned it, this was the arch and this was the bow. And so the positions anyway are the same pretty much. Okay, so you don't have to worry too much. It just might be a little confusing if you look at another teacher. So make sure you're wearing some loose clothing. And you're not going to be disturbed for 15-20 minutes. And you take your feet to about, this is important, about a foot wide if you're in America or Britain, otherwise about 30 centimeters, something like that. If you're very big, then a bit wider is okay, but not too wide. And the outsides of your feet are roughly parallel, so not too much like a penguin. Don't have to be exact, but just generally in that. You have a little bit of flex in the knees. You keep your eyes open throughout this whole exercise. It's not imperative, that's the usual instruction, and generally it helps it go deeper. And to start with, you just breathe for a couple of seconds. Really just breathe out through your mouth deep. Feeling your body, dropping your shoulders a bit. And then what we're going to do first of all is you're going to allow your head to become, imagine it's really heavy, your chin drops to your chest, and then your upper body starts to fall down. This is the position. You can just watch me if you want. You don't have to necessarily follow. And then when you're hanging in this position, you're going to check a few things. One, that your arms and your head are relatively relaxed. Or rather your neck and your shoulders, by jiggling your head and jiggling your arms a little bit. So they're like a rag doll. Your fingertips should be about 6 inches, 15 centimeters from the floor. Even if you're super flexible, you don't go down any lower. And if you can't get down that far, just go down as far as you can. And then in this position, you have a little bit of flex in the knees, but your knees are nearly straight, like a cord is pulling your tailbone up towards the ceiling. So you're hanging down, and at the same time, you imagine you're stretching your tailbone up, but just keeping a little flex in the knees. And then if you've got all that, you also lean a little bit forward so the weight is more towards the front of your feet. And then as you're hanging there, you just scan through those, jiggling your neck's a bit tense. Give it a little jiggle. Make sure you're not locking the neck, not locking the arms. Check that my tailbone's pulling up. So my legs are nearly straight. My weight is a little bit forwards. Eyes open. And I can gently gaze on something behind me. Can help keep you in the zone. And very important now, you breathe through the mouth as deep as you can. Now what's critical when you start, I'm going to come up, what's critical when you start this pose, the arch pose, is that you don't overdo it. Check out how long you can do it for. Some people it's only 10 seconds, you know, and that's okay. You've got to start where you're at. Don't go into too much comparison, putting yourself down. If all you can do is 10 seconds, all you can do is 10 seconds. And some people will be more like 30 seconds, a minute, maybe even a few minutes you can do. But make sure that you're breathing throughout nice and deep and you're really feeling what's going on. What will tend to happen is that you start to feel a strain in your lower back. That's the main area we're opening up in this exercise, and that's the main area where anyone over the age of about 12 has got a lot of holding in their body. It's where the brain is shoveling repressed emotions. We want to open this area up so we've got more energy for life. But basically, it means you will get a strain in your lower back, and if you're new to this pose, you don't want to pull your lower back, you know, because you'll be crocked for a couple of days, and you'll also probably think, well, fuck this bioenergetics, I'm not doing that shit anymore. And, you know, maybe it's something that could really change your whole life. So you don't want to do that. If you're hanging and your lower back's getting achy, you can either come up, or what you can do is put your hands or your arms or your shoulders, hands or your elbows on your knees a bit to take the pressure off for a little bit and then hang a bit more. I would start this exercise doing like a minute, something like that, a minute down. Have a timer or have a piece of music that lasts a minute or whatever. Something that you don't have to keep looking up at it, basically, is important. So you've got a timer. There's actually, if you look on my website, devarage.org.uk, you'll see some audio downloads to ding tracks, MP3s. There's a minute, 90 seconds, all of that. And then however long you do the arch for, you do the bow position for the same length of time. This is the second thing. So if I've just come out of my arch, I come back to standing, I lift my arms right up, fingers outstretched, and then bring my pelvis forwards, my arms back behind my ears, and my chest out, like a cord is pulling my chest up. And in this position, I'm like an archer's bow on the side. You know, you see him in the old movies. And in this position, I have my eyes straight ahead. Sometimes the instruction is to gaze a little bit up. It's up to you, but eyes straight ahead is good. And really breathe. Really engaging with the body, feeling the body, breathing and opening. And you do it for as long as you did this arch position for. Okay, so just to recap and to get it straight, you've got these two positions for arch, you go down, for bow you come back up, and just check before you actually start, have a little practice run with the two and see how long you can do those for on the edge of your comfort zone before it gets too much. Other little variations you can do if it's really stressful with your arms up, you can also, to vary things, take your arms out to the side, bit of crucifix, good for the Catholics. Also, or you can, to vary it, is to make gentle fists and put your arms in your lower back, elbows together, fists in your lower back, and push forwards like this. That's another way of doing it. But it's good to start, I think, with the bow with this upward stretch. Okay, that's the bow and the arch. So basically you work out how long you can do each pose for. Say it's a minute to start, so you're not going to hurt yourself. And then you go round 3 times. So that means down, here, breathing, 1 minute. Come up for 1 minute. Breathing all the way down for a minute. Up, down and up. And that's it. And then have a little sit down or a little rest at the end if you're new. Just breathe and feel your body. Whenever you feel your body, you start to come back to yourself. And in bioenergetics, we're opening up the body so we can feel more and more of the body. Okay, if you've got any stuff I've missed out or anything that's not clear, please leave me a little comment and I'll do my best to fix it. Okay, that's the bow and the arch, and I hope you have good times with it. If you need some ding tracks to do it to, like you can put on your MP3 player and just dings after 1 minute or 2 minutes or whatever, you can get those from my website, devarage.org.uk. You don't have to give me your email address or anything like that. You can just download them. Okay, bye for now and good luck practicing.